Lord, we thank you so much for who you are. Thank you for dying on the cross for us. Thank you for the reminder that you were willing to come into the world to save sinners like us. Now, Lord, as we look into your word, we pray that you would speak a word, Holy Spirit, for we need a word from you. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Forgive us for our many sins and shortcomings. We bless you and praise you in advance for how you will encourage and inspire us through your word. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you. Amen. We thank God again for this day that he has granted unto us. We want to call your attention as we close out the book of Job to Job chapter 42. Job chapter 42. And when you find Job chapter 42, we want to look at a few verses there. Before we read Job 42, we want to encourage you to go to Job chapter 1. Job chapter 1. In Job chapter 1, beginning with verse 1. In the land of Uz, there was a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 5,000 yoke of oxen, 5,000 donkeys, and had a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. Job chapter 42, verse 12. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. He had 4,000 sheep. 14, bless you. Want to see if you will wait. 14,000 sheep. 6,000 camels. 1,000 yoke of oxen. And 1,000 donkeys. He also had sons, 7 sons, and 3 daughters. For a few moments, as we walk through and finish up the book of Job, beginning with chapters 38 to the end of the book, we want to talk from the subject, when God flips the script. When God flips the script. Because the devil would have you to believe that the story that you are now living, that's how it's going to end. The devil would have you to believe that things are not going to get better. The devil will have you to believe that trouble will last always. The devil would have you to believe that the sun is not going to shine again. He wants you to believe that you will always be down and never get up again. But Job wants you to be reminded this morning that no matter where you are, no matter what you are going through, no matter what your situation may be right now, the God that we serve is able to flip the script. God is able to turn it around. God is able to make it better. God is able to fix it for you. As we walk through this book, we are reminded that Job was one of the richest men on earth. He goes through a trial that he does not understand. It does not make sense to him why he all of a sudden loses everything that he has, why he loses everything that he has. His three friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, they show up to tell him that, Job, the reason why you are going through what you are going through is because you have sinned, because you are not right with God. And you are getting what you are getting because you have misused and abused other folk. And so, Job, you might as well come to grips. You are reaping what you've sown. Job says, on the other hand, I have done no wrong. I have not done any wrong. I have done nothing in my life that would entail me getting this type of treatment.
Yes, sir.
And Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, I hear you when you say that the wicked suffer. But Job says, as I look at life, it seems like the wicked get the better end of the stick.
All right now.
Seems like the wicked get away with murder. Seems like the wicked get by. Job says that I know I'm innocent. I don't know why I'm going through what I'm going through.
Yes.
And if God would allow me just to state my case,
All right now.
if God would allow me to show up in the courtroom, I could defend myself. I could let God know, God, I'm right. God, I'm right.
Yeah.
I would let God know, God, I'm right.
Yeah.
And God, you are not fair
Oh, Jesus.
in treating me like you're treating me. You're not fair. And allowing me to go through these trials and these tribulations. God, this is just not fair. And Job calls on God, but God seemingly won't answer.
Yeah.
Job calls on God, and God seemingly won't answer. Job says, God, why don't you answer me? Why don't you answer me? God, I'm willing. I'm willing to go to court. I'm willing to state my case. I'm willing to plead my cause
All right now.
as to why I should not be going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
It's not fair. God, this is just not fair. God, this is just not fair. After the three friends state their piece, and Job argues his case, we saw last week a young man, Elihu, speaks up and says, Job, I didn't want to speak because I'm a young man. And I know y'all are old and supposed to have plenty of sense.
All right now. Suppose that.
But he says, Job,
Yeah.
you tread dangerous ground. You are treading dangerous ground. When you try to say God is unjust and unfair,
Yeah.
Job, you tread dangerous grounds when you don't acknowledge God's sovereignty.
Yeah.
Because God can do whatever he wants to do it, whenever he wants to do it, however he wants to do it.
Say that now.
And he really don't need to give you any explanation. Elihu says, Job, a lot of times God, you wonder why God is not speaking. Elihu says, it's not that God is not speaking. God oftentimes doesn't speak the way you want him to speak.
Hallelujah. Right there.
Says God can speak through dreams. God can speak through your pain.
Yeah.
And you wonder why, Job. You wonder why. If you remember, Elihu says, you wonder why God allows you to go through storms. You wonder why, Job, God allows you to go through storms. Job,
Yeah.
storms are natural
All right now.
in every season of life. Storms, Elihu says, are natural to every season of life. Storms are natural
Say that again.
in every season of life. If you remember, last week in chapter 36, the latter part of chapter 36, verse 33, he reminded them, in the fall, before the harvest, during the harvest, you know what you're going to have? A storm.
Yeah.
You're going to have storms in the fall. He reminded them in chapter 37, verse 6, in the wintertime, you're going to have snow,
Say that now.
storm.
No.
Storms in the fall. Storms in the winter. He reminded them in chapter 37, verse 11, you're going to have storms in the springtime.
Yeah.
You're going to have storms in the springtime. And the latter part, and beginning with verse 14 to verse 18, now not only are you going to have storms in the fall and storms in the winter and storms in the spring, guess what? When it's hot outside,
Oh, you gonna have. Oh, Jesus.
you still going to encounter storm.
God have mercy.
Storm in every season of your life. Elihu says, so Job, in no season of your life will you get an exemption card
All right now.
from storms. And as I said last week, I normally like to go to those churches where they tell you you're never going to be sick. You're going to always have money. I normally like that when you go to those churches where they say you got to name it and claim it. All you got to do is call it and haul it. But Elihu says, not so. You're going to encounter storms. And you do well to ask yourself, God, speak to me
Yeah.
in my storm.
Yeah.
Because the storm is coming. The storm is coming. And it may be shining right now, but you better be attuned to the Doppler radar. Because a storm is going to come in your life, but God can speak through the storm. How do you know that, Job? You've been raising the question, Job. I wish God would speak. I wish God would say something. God, you've been quiet long enough. God, I wish you would allow me to plead my case. God, I wish we could have a dialogue. God, I wish you would listen to me. God says, you know what, Job?
Yeah.
I hear you. Chapter 38, the Lord spoke to Job. The Lord spoke to Job. The Lord spoke to Job.
Yeah.
Chapter 38, verse 1, the Lord spoke to Job. And how did he speak to Job? Out of the storm. Job, I hear you challenging my sovereignty. If I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, however I want to do it, Job. I hear you talking about my justice, Job. I hear you talking about I'm not being fair, Job. I hear you talking about you don't know why you're going through what you're going through, Job. I hear you saying, I wish God would allow me to plead my case. In the storm. Who is it, verse 2? Who is this who obscures?
Yeah.
Who dips in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who try to messes up
Yeah.
my plans? With words without knowledge. Job, you talking now, but you don't know what you're talking about, bruh. Who is it that got a nerve to try to mess up my plan, to try to interfere with my program? Who try to interfere with my sovereignty? You want to challenge me, Job?
Oh God.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Brace yourself like a man. And I will answer you. And you shall answer me. You want to have a dialogue? Let's talk about this thing.
Hello.
You big and bad?
Oh yeah.
You run everything?
Yeah.
You think you know everything? And you think you know how I'm doing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Got a few questions for you, bro. Verse 4. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?
Oh well.
Notice, verse 5. Who marked out his dimensions? Surely, you know.
All right now.
Notice. Who, verse 6, on what were the footings, or the footing said, or who laid the cornerstone of the earth? While the stars were singing together, and the angel was shouting for glory, the stars and the angels were glad. But evidently, you got a problem with that. Job, I hear you talking. But who shut up the sea and burst forth this womb, Job? Notice, the seeds. When I said, verse 11, this is how far you may come and no farther. When I was out there separating the earth from the waters, from the land, and I told the water, you can only go so far.
All right now.
Where were you? Joe, I hear you talking big. But verse 12, have you ever given orders? Have you ever given orders to the morning? Or have you shown dog his place? Joe, when the last time you turned the sun on and told the moon, it's time for you to show up? Notice Joe. Job, verse 17. Have the gates of hell ever been shown to you? Have you ever seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Job, where were you in creation? I thought this was my world.
Oh my God. Okay.
But from hearing you talk, I might be wrong. Job, verse 18. Have you comprehended the vast expanse of the earth? Have you ever comprehended how large the earth is? Tell me. Joe, maybe you need to take me to school. Notice, because Job, hearing you talk, verse 21, surely you know, because you are already born. You've lived so many years.
Yeah.
You are so small. Yeah, Joe. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow or seen the storehouses of the hell which I reserved in times of trouble? Joe, have you seen my storehouses that I can rain down disaster? You see, Joe, you forget. I created all of this.
All right now.
Without your input. Job, you forgot. I created all of this. Without your permission. Job, maybe you think you all powerful. Maybe you think you got it like that. So let me ask you. Verse 31, can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellation in its seasons? Job, can you tell the summer it's now time to be high? And the winter it's now time to be cold? Do you know the laws of heaven? Verse 33, can you set up God's dominion on the earth? Job, can you raise your voice to the clouds? Verse 34, verse 35, do you send lightning bolts on the way? Job, When God is ready to send a lightning bolt, verse 35, the latter part, do they report to you? Do they say to you? Here we are. Job, see, you're not as big and bad as you think you are.
All right now.
I ain't finished with you, Job.
All right.
Because not only am I the one over creation, I'm the one that's ruling and keeping the creatures.
All right.
Verse 39, chapter 39, do you know where the mountain goat give birth? Do you watch their bears fawn? No, Joe! No. You have no control. Verse 26, does the hawk take flight by your wisdom and spread its wings to the south? Verse 27, does the eagle soar at your command? Build its nest on high, dwells on the cliff and stays there at night on a rocky crag. From there looks for food from afar. Joe, do you provide food for my creatures? No. See, Joe,
I seen an eagle. He had a little kid.
you done got a little too big for your pants.
One that grabbed, had it on the fence.
Joe,
I'm like,
let's talk man to man.
I'm like, some rats and stuff, rabbits.
Joe, put your big boy drawers over.
All right now, Pastor. Roll up.
And you know what Job says? Chapter 40, the Lord said to Job, the Lord said to Job, the Lord said to Job, the Lord said to Job,
Right now. All right.
will the one who contends with the Almighty, notice, with God, Almighty. And you know what Almighty is? He got Almighty.
Tell it.
Will the one who contends and challenges me correct me? Bro, you might have lost your mind.
Yes, sir.
Let him who accuses God answer him. You know what Job says? God, I hear you.
Yeah.
Verse 4, I'm unworthy. How can I reply to you? I gotta put my hand over my mouth. Talking loud, but ain't saying nothing. I spoke once, but I have no answer. I acknowledge I have no answer. I spoke twice, but you know what? After you done let me know that you are sovereign, that you are in control, that you are running things, that you are the creator and the sustainer of heaven and earth, that even before I got here, you were God all by yourself.
Hallelujah right there. Amen.
I put my hand over my mouth. God, I'll say no more. But you know what God says? I ain't finished with you, boy.
Oh, boy.
We talking not man to man, God the man.
All right, all right.
Notice chapter 40, verse 6. The Lord spoke to Job. The Lord spoke to Job. The Lord spoke to Job. The Lord spoke to Job.